I'm Jenn Kammerdiener, founder, CEO, and lead practitioner of ClearPath Learning Group. This is Paths to Performance, where we talk simply about learning and development, navigating change, and the nature of true performance. Walk with us. As part of our continuing series on guides and mentors, Guy Wallace and I will talk about learning durations. Today's episode, short but long. Hi there, Guy. I have a quick question for you. I know in recent conversations, we've had a good discussion about how you, as well as our company ClearPath, both see performance as the goal of our work. And when we look for what is the right means to help the target audience reach that state of performance, hopefully we've identified that a learning solution is the right approach before we go down that path, but let's assume we have. And one interesting challenge that we deal with sometimes is that we have a time box also to work with. And so we've been asked to jump right into a learning and development solution that fits this box. Either the client has decided we have X hours to do training, and so we need a 4-hour session, for example, or even we as L&D experts, right? Sometimes we'll say we're going to build a 30-minute e-learning. We in learning and development are truly famous for that 30-minute e-learning solution. Let's talk a bit about duration of experience to get to desired performance. How do you address that? And how do you make sure the duration of any solution is right for the outcomes you're looking to meet?
Yes, I think that instruction should always be as short as possible, but as long as necessary. And the only way we can test out whether or not we've got it as long as necessary is to test out through alpha testing, beta testing, pilot testing, whether or not the content that we've given people is sufficient to help them perform authentically, just like they were back on the job. So a lot of this depends on what's the prior knowledge of the target audience. Do they already have an awareness? Do they have deep knowledge? Do they have some skills? And there's a lot of variation in the target audience. So you've got to decide whether you're going to produce multiple versions of something or whether you're going to just produce one version. And some people will be reinforced with something that they already know, but other people, it'll be brand new. So the trick is getting it down to be as short as possible. And I like to think of, the less information I can give people is better. Less is more. So I want to give people information so that they understand any demonstrations I might show them of what this looks like when you're performing. And then that sets people up to go into application exercises, practice with feedback, that will help them hone the knowledge and skills that they need in order to learn how to perform. Now, this is all true of microlearning. Microlearning is a kind of a new phrase. It's not that new. It's a concept that goes way, way back, proper chunking of instructional content. Nowadays, we have the technology to deploy small chunks of content. Back in the day, we would bring people into a classroom and we couldn't necessarily chunk it out into here's 3 minutes on that, and here's 7 minutes on this, and here's 20 minutes on that. It was inefficient use of people going back and forth getting into the classroom. So now we have technology that enables us to do micro-learning, but it's really all about an output and the task set and the enabling knowledge and skills, and we need to package that. So getting the content down to be as short as possible, but as long as necessary, is really a critical step. And this is equally true for what's been called and is being called MVPs. Minimally viable products. For an instructional product to be viable, it has to really enable people to be able to perform back on the job. And so I think these concepts are all really one and the same. We're enabled with technology so we can accomplish these things much easier, but that's always been the goal and should always be the goal, getting down to the essential content, eliminating the extraneous content, and test it out to prove that it's sufficient in enabling people to really master the performance of tasks to produce outputs.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Jenn Kammerdiener, and it's been a pleasure. You can visit us at clearpathlearninggroup.com. And if you've got time to stick around for more conversation with Guy, next up, lean-ISD.